I wanted to come here ever since I seen Amores Perros.
Oh,
Yeah, so
a long time ago, 22 years ago.
yeah, something like that. I saw it later though. Like I saw it after it came out. I saw it probably in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a classmate from Buenos Aires
Oh,
who showed it to me. Yeah,
and do you like Mexican cinema?
Si.
Do you often see anything?
see,
What do you like?
man, I love personally. I love the films from like the big three.
Yeah.
Um,
Guillermo, Alfonso, y Alejandro.
Yeah, love them. Love that films, especially that early stuff like The Devil's Backbone,
Oh,
Kronos, Amores Perros, like we talked about. And I found Roma deeply moving. You
Okay.
know, I was about the city, about Mexico.
yeah.
But I love Latin American cinema as a whole. You know,
Okay.
I consumed a lot of it in film school.
I love that you said Mexico. You don't say Mexico.
It depends on where I am. Yeah. When I'm in California, I say Mexico. When I'm here, I say Mexico.
Yeah, because I know you're from a cultural place, Oakland, and
Yeah.
and the mixture of cultures there, Mexico and
Si.
African American
Big
culture.
time. Like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the movie reflects that.
Yeah.
Does that affect you the way that you approach a movie?
Yes. For
How,
sure.
How come?
Well, yeah. I feel like where I'm from, African American culture, indigenous American culture, Asian American culture are like this. You know, it's literally like this.
Yeah.
It's very little separation.
They're not hoods. They're everyone.
Everybody's
Yeah.
like we have conflicts. Don't get me wrong. You know, like on the street, things can get tricky. But for the most part, it's actually much different from other parts of California that way. You know, you travel around California, it's not always like that.
Yeah.
You know, but where we from, it is. And in cinema, I don't get to see the juxtaposition as much as I would like to. You know, but for this movie, like Wakanda and Atlantis and the publishing and comic books, they always had this tenuous relationship. You know, where they are these unique kind of empires, and they can never seem to get along. Like in the books, a lot of it is like Namor's personality versus T'Challa's personality and Shuri's personality. You know, but they have so much in common. You know what I mean? They kind of isolated. Got all these interests in technology. Have a great ability to self-determine. You know, so I saw maybe some parallels in that. You know, that we could explore, but also like just the idea of Afrofuturism and Mesoamerican futurism, and just how much really like the cultures have in common, and it's almost kind of strange that it's not talked about enough. Like the idea that you'll find pyramids on the continent of Africa, you'll find pyramids here, you know, and burial practices that are similar, and even words that are similar when you hear the indigenous languages.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, what was going on? You know, how did these things develop in quote unquote isolation from each other, you know? And like, you know, where I'm from, we get along so well. Like, there's so many things that are the same, like how we, you know, complicated relationship with religion, complicated relationship with family, you know, socio-political issues, like things that affect us directly.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it was a daunting task for sure, you know, and one where I know we were gonna have to like walk a lot of fine lines, you know, especially with the plot of the movie. But I'm very happy with the process, and I'm very happy with how it came out.
I know you're a big fan of John Singleton. I'm also a big fan. When I watched Boys in the Hood as a kid, I related to that because that was like the kind of skin that was closer to mine, and
Totally.
And I love the way that African American directors talk to me, because I'm also from one little hood here in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of Boys in the Hood in Black Panther, and I see a lot of higher learning on this one, because I think that the first one is about this coming to age of a young man going to become a man.
Yeah.
And in here, there's a lot of political issues as in higher learning.
Yes.
How much do you revisit these movies?
You know, it's funny, higher learning, not much.
Really?
No, not high learning, not much. Like what I remember, it's interesting too, because Boys in the Hood, both of these movies had these traumatic deaths in them. You know what I mean? Like in Higher Learning, it was Tyra Banks, right?
Yeah.
It was almost more like it messed me up bad.
Yeah, Tyra Banks, Jennifer Connelly, Omar Epps, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah, but boys I saw when I was younger. You know, it's got like a little more of a special place in my heart, I would say. I identify with it a little more. Higher Learning I loved as a kid, but I was a little distant from it. Like the whole college, it was something about the college experience I didn't totally understand yet.
But there's a political issue.
Yeah.
I think that somehow I see higher learning in this one.
That's beautiful. Like no, it's brilliant that you say that. I hadn't thought about that, but I see what you you're getting at. Yeah, like and also like the idea of coming of age as a young adult.
Yeah.
I think that's the Omar Epps character being a late teen going to college and expected to come out of college a man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that here with Shuri. She's a young adult, but she's forced to grow a lot in this movie. And I think that it's really interesting. It's really interesting. No, it's really interesting. For me, like there were a lot of things that influenced this movie for me in terms of like just the relationship between Talokan and Wakanda and that idea of a proposition that's offered as a proposition, but it's also like a veiled threat. Was like lifted directly from a lot of gangster cinema. You know what I mean? Like the most famous one is Godfather 1.
Yeah, Scarface and all that.
All of that. Like when somebody comes and they making a proposition, but there's a threat behind it. You know what I mean? And that I think was something I always was interested about with this film, and this idea that there's a lot in common, but there's also like a fundamental difference. In terms of the fact that I think Namor holds a chip on his shoulder because his people had to move. They had to move and they had to change.
Migration. They had to do that.
They had to migrate, and Wakanda never had to. So I think he sees them as vulnerable because they don't know what that's like. He feels like he's tougher because he's had to do that. And that's the one thing that separates them in his mind. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
because he feels that they don't deserve the power of the vibranium because they haven't fought for it. They just got it.
Yeah.
What is the? I know Chadwick was a big influence in the cultural movement and everyone in the world because he seems so appealing to everyone.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Notch is gonna do the same?
Yeah.
For
They're different people. I wouldn't want to compare them.
No, but the cultural impact.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. He's really Tenoch is really good. Like and he has there is one similarity I'll say between Tenoch and Chad in that Chadwick had an encyclopedic knowledge of African American culture and culture on the continent, specifically as it related to colonization. He had studied this stuff. He knew it like the back of his hand. He knew different authors and texts and different teachings. He could go back and forth over them. He used to work in a bookstore when he was at Howard, and legend has it he read everything in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what's interesting about Tenoch is, when I first time I talked to him, like he didn't know what the movie was about. He didn't know that the movie was dealing with an indigenous character who his indigenous identity is a key point in his mentality towards the world. He didn't know this. So while we were talking, I realized that, oh man, this dude is like, not only has he lived the reality, but he's like a student of it. You know what I mean? Like it's something that he has a deep passion for. He was writing a book about this very thing, and he was explaining to me certain racial dynamics in Mexico that I identify with as a black man in the States. And I also was surprised that I didn't know the details of. You know what I mean? Like he was going very, very deep. That the irony that he was passionate about this concept, knew all of these things, and then would end up playing this character. And I think he was about to play Montezuma, I think, in another show, like, you know, like that he would find these roles that he had like personal knowledge of, lived in experience, and a passion about learning and teaching. You know, that is the thing that he has in common with Chadwick the most, because that's kind of who Chad was as it related to Chala, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think Tenoch is a brilliant actor. You know, he's playing an iconic character. You know, I hope that the character connects and that he connects with the world. I couldn't think of a better spokesman for you know for that incredible artwork that happens in this country, or in this region in general. Because I think a lot of people are going to identify with him and claim ownership. You know, if that makes sense. But yeah, like all of that said, Chad was one of a kind, man. So like, you know.
Yeah, not trying to compare.
Yeah.
Well, man, I could talk hours with you because I love your work. I love your cinema. I love how everything connects with everything and in a way. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful time here in Mexico.
Thank you, bro. So great to meet you.
Yeah.